नौजवानों, मस्जिदों को आबाद रखो। नौजवानों, तुमसे मैं कह रहा हूं, हमारी मस्जिद हमने खो दी और वहां पर क्या किया जा रहा है आप देख रहे हैं।
वैसे ही आप अपने दल की दुकान चलाने के लिए किसी को भी गुमराह मत करें।
बाबरवादी और इस्लामिक कट्टरपंथियों के पैरोकार मुस्लिम यूथ को भड़काने, बरगलाने और उनको आतंकवाद की राह पर धकेलने का कुत्सित प्रयास करने में जुट गए।
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan and as you can see, even in our studios, preparations abound to celebrate the consecration of Ram Lala Virajman on the 22nd of January at Ram Janmbhoomi, the Bhavya Ram Mandir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court in its observations while delivering the Ayodhya verdict clearly stated that the structure at the Babri structure was not built on a vacant land and there was an underlying structure which was not Islamic, on top of which this structure had been superimposed or built forcibly. The Apex Court also added that the existence of Sita Rasoi, Ram Chabutra and the Bhandar Greh highlight religious character and that there is no evidence that Muslims were in exclusive possession of this site all along. But despite all this, some continue to fearmonger or rather mislead young minds. For the last several days, the opposition leaders and several voices within the opposition, one after the other, have been questioning the consecration ceremony, some even calling January 22nd as a black day. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi joining them, appealing to Muslim youth to be watchful about the activities carried out and said that mosques across the country should remain inhabited as attempts are being made to snatch them. Now, with reference to Babri, Owaisi said the place where Quran was recited for over 500 years is not in their hands anymore. Owaisi's remark drawing massive criticism from the BJP and the Hindu groups and also pushing for a larger question. Was this actually a mosque or was it a temple that has now been reclaimed? A temple that was snatched and then as per the rule of law and the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court reinstated and handed back to Hindus from whom it was snatched. So why gloss over these acts of savagery under this entire cloak of victimhood is the question that we ask.
Hello, Moto.
Joining us this evening, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Varis Pathan of the AIMIM, and also Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author and political commentator. Namaste and Jai Hind to all our panelists. We should have Anila Singh and Varis Pathan through with us any moment now, but Dr. Ranganathan is there with us. Dr. Ranganathan, those who say Masjid Shaheed ho gaya or Masjid kho di, and these are all people, including Barrister Asaduddin Owaisi, are they then adhering to the rule of law and constitution of the country, the verdict of the Honorable Supreme Court, or glossing over their own individual knowledge of the legal tenets of our country as barristers?
Good evening, Anand, and wishing you and all your viewers and your colleagues a very happy new year. This is turning out to be a momentous year already, just 2 days gone. You can see the heartburn of millions of people. But more than that, the hearts of 1 billion people is being affected through what is going to transpire in a few weeks. So we can ignore the heartburn. No, but seriously, there are a couple of points out here. One must, to understand the ilk of Owaisi and others, his cohorts, one must understand and read two momentous books by V.S. Naipaul, Among the Believers and Beyond Belief, where he meticulously charts out what happens when you are converted. And when you're specifically converted to Islam, you are ordered to forget everything that was owed to you through your culture, through your civilization. You are ordered to look towards the sand dunes of Arabia. And Naipaul put it succinctly 40 years ago. We are seeing the mirror that is reflecting what he said through the people like Owaisi. They will not believe that hundreds, if not thousands of temples have been demolished by cruel barbarians and invaders, where you can even see the half temples upon which the mosques have been built. But they will not see that. They will ignore that. Why? Because the Indian civilization, the Hindu civilization is no longer theirs to feel proud of. They look westward, further westward. And the people of the Arab states, they look down upon them. So, na idhar ke, na udhar ke, but that is the way it is. But as far as the Ram temple is concerned, let me, take you back to the story of Turin Shroud. That Anand for 2000 years was believed to have been used for wrapping the body of Jesus Christ after crucifixion. Until in 1989, when scientists proved through carbon dating that it was only 600 years old. That is the brute force of truth and science and evidence. They are the bulwarks for justice. Let me now sum up the Ayodhya judgment of 2019 with fact taken from the judgment. This is what exactly the Supreme Court accepted. Number one, the Babri Mosque was not constructed on vacant land. The excavation indicated the presence of an underlying structure below the disputed structure. The underlying structure was at least of equal, if not larger dimensions than the disputed structure. The underlying structure was not of Islamic origin. Archaeological finds in the area of excavation reveal significant traces of successive civilizations commencing with the age of the archaeological North Bloc polished were traceable to the 2nd century BC. On a preponderance of probabilities, the archaeological findings on the nature of the underlying structure indicate it to be of Hindu religious origin, dating to the 12th century AD. The mosque in dispute was constructed upon the foundation of a pre-existing structure. The layered excavation at the site of excavation has also revealed the existence of a circular shrine together with a Makara Pranala indicative of Hindu worship dating back to the 8th to 10th century. These were verbatim quotes from the Ayodhya judgment. And after the judgment came and after the land was handed over to the Hindu party and after the excavation began for the construction of this grand Ram temple, they found dozens of idols, broken idols, plaques, marbles, statues, excavations that actually gave out all the lipi and, the everything that indicated that there was a marvelous Hindu temple beneath that. What do you have to say to that? I would say that yes, Babri Masjid was constructed over a temple, but not Owaisi. Never. Because it looks towards the sand dunes.
Well, he may look whichever direction. That is what the freedom allows us. Under the constitution, he may look in whichever direction and pray to whoever he would like to pray to. But to try and cloak an act of savagery under this entire garb of victimhood, is that fair for somebody who has a certain level of understanding because he's a barrister of the legal aspects of our country? He's supposed to be and bound by his profession to honor the court of law and the rule of law, as a citizen to honor the rule of law and the verdict of the courts. And most importantly, he's also a parliamentarian, so he has a certain level of parliamentary duty and responsibility to adhere to, even when he is addressing the Majlis as a leader. Waris Pathan is there with us. So
before Waris Pathan Saab comes in, I'm sure with the new year he would give me this 30 seconds because the question is related to my dear brother Waris Pathan Saab. And I want to make an analogy, Anand, here because I think that is very pertinent. Let us say Waris Pathan Saab has a property, right? And he doesn't want to sell that property because he wants to construct something on it. But I come along and I say, look, I am going to sell Waris Pathan Saab's property to somebody else. And that transpires. And that somebody else then constructs something on Waris Pathan Saab's property. Now I ask Waris Pathan Saab, who has the sale deed papers? Who has the property papers? I don't. But I have sold it off. Waris Pathan Saab does. In a court of law, whom would the judge agree with? Waris Pathan or me? Waris Pathan Saab would say, yes, the judge would agree with Waris Pathan. But that is what has happened. Waris Pathan Saab doesn't agree with the fact that in the case of Mathura, the property has been sold off to the Shahi Idgah or that the mosque. The property didn't belong to them. But he won't agree. Why? I'm sorry to say this again, because of sand dunes.
Let Mr. Waris Pathan please. Namaste, Anila ji, and Namaste, Waris Pathan. How would you like to respond? Why is Mr. Owaisi saying things that he needn't say on a matter specifically which is resolved by the courts of our country?
Well, Anand, to begin with, I heard my learned good friend Anand also. First and foremost, I am proud of my party president being a barrister, having full knowledge. He's a learned man, a great parliamentarian, a great orator, and I'm proud of him. Second thing, what did he say yesterday in his speech? He said, Musalmano, masjid ko abad karo, explore the masjid, वहाँ जाओ नमाज पढ़ो, हमारी आजान दो, वरना जिस तरह से पहले हमारी मस्जिद छीन गई, इसी तरह से दूसरी मस्जिदों को भी ले लिया जाएगा. Where is incitement in that? Kindly tell me, kindly go and read the lexicon meaning of incitement या भड़काओ भाषण, telling a person that please go there in the mosque, pray. If this is incitement,
अगली लाइन
every day.
उसके बाद वाली लाइन बोले
ना.
No, उसके बाद वाली लाइन बोले ना. You are a very smart advocate and a lawyer yourself and a fantastic spokesperson. So you are also being very convenient with the truth. The first line तो पढ़ दी, उसके बाद वाली लाइन तो आपने नहीं पढ़ी कि जो मस्जिद हमसे छीन ली गई या हमने खो दी, वहां आप क्या हो रहा है वो आप देख रहे हैं. वो किसके रेफरेंस में था? कौन सी मस्जिद खो दी है जहां आजकल क्या हो रहा है कौन देख रहा है?
Well, we have Anand, we have already lost our one Babri Masjid, and we say once a masjid, always a masjid. This is our iman, this is dharma, our faith also says so. So we are very hurt. The Babri Masjid was taken away by cheating, impersonation. You know that very well. First, locks were opened in the Congress regime. Then they say Murti Prakat ho gayi. Then all of a sudden they filed an affidavit before the Honorable Supreme Court. And then what happened on 6 December 1992, which we call as a black day in the history of democracy? Our Babri Masjid was demolished. It was martyred. And we will never forget that, and this thing we will also tell to our generations, coming generations, that see how we cheated, how our masjid was taken away.
But
so
the
we
point
don't
is,
want the
sir,
other
three
masjid.
things.
Now my friend just spoke about the Supreme Court judgment.
Two, three things.
Anand, see, if you interrupt me,
sorry, you make a strong argument.
Listen to me like you listen to Anand. Give me the same courtesy.
Okay.
Extend to me the same courtesy which you extended to my very good friend Anand Ranganathan.
Please complete.
Now coming back to the Supreme Court judgment. The Supreme Court judgment was based on faith or not on the basis of evidence. The honorable judges of the Supreme Court unanimously said that no temple was destroyed to build a mosque. And kindly allow me to read one simple paragraph from the judgment of the honorable Supreme Court, which is about 1045 pages. I will just read one simple paragraph which will clarify everything. A finding of title cannot be based in law on the archaeological findings which have been arrived by the ASI. Between the 12th century to which the underlying structure is dated and the construction of the mosque in the 16th century, there is an intervening period of 4 centuries. No evidence has been placed on the record in relation to the course of human history between the 12th and the 16th century. No evidence is available in the case of this antiquity on the cause of destruction of the underlying structure, and 2, whether the pre-existing structure was demolished for the construction of the mosque. Title to the land must be decided on settled legal principles and apply evidentiary standards which govern a civil trial. This was the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Supreme Court had passed the order under Article 142, which was on faith. Subsequent to that, it was a Places of Worship Act 1991 was also there. Looking into the aspect that the country should not fall prey to such kind of politics, hatred must stop. The Places of Worship Act 1990 was enacted.
Now,
but what happened to them? Now they come for the Kashi.
No. Will you please yield?
Now the Sunari Bagh Masjid in Delhi.
There are 2-3 questions, sir.
We have to remove this. Though the matter is sub judice pending in the court.
Varis Pathan, there are 2-3 questions. One minute. Anand Ranganathan wants to respond to you. After that, I will come with my questions. Yes, Anand Ranganathan. Anilaji coming to you after that. Yes, Anand Ranganathan.
Yes, no, I commend Varis Pathan Sahab. He is my elder brother. Happy New Year to him. And I have to say this, that he is not lying. He has quoted verbatim from the Supreme Court. Pathan Sahab, you have. But will you also accept that I have also quoted verbatim from the Supreme Court? Do you accept that? Say yes or no. Then we'll move forward.
No, if you accept this, things are clean. There was no temple was destroyed.
You have to accept the judgment in whole.
No temple was destroyed.
You have to accept the judgment in whole.
No survey was evidence to show that the murtis were there.
Now, you have got an inkling what is coming for you. And you are running away. You think it's a tsunami that is coming. Yes, it is. In the shape of Anand Ranganathan. Because what you are saying is that yes, a title suit cannot be decided on the basis of archaeological finding. But you are not quoting the archaeological finding the Supreme Court has accepted. You are not. You are cherry picking. No. Yes. Supposing your property is to be decided on title suit. But the Supreme Court has said no. Please. I have quoted what the Supreme Court accepted.
Correct.
And after the digging, after 2019, how many
See,
Hindu idols, how many plaques,
that's where I'm coming back. That's where I'm
found?
coming back. That's where I'm coming back to two fundamental questions which I'd like Mr. Waris Pathan to answer before I bring in Anilaji. First up, okay, you said that once a masjid, always a masjid. Perfectly fine. But tell me, Waris Pathan, what are the basic characteristics of a masjid and what is deemed a masjid, sir? First part. What is deemed a masjid?
Yes.
As per the tenets of Islam itself, as per the holy book, what is deemed a masjid? A place that is fit for offering prayer. जहां पर आपकी प्रेयर या नमाज कबूल होगी, ऐसी जगह को मस्जिद कहा जाता है. तो ये मस्जिद की बेसिस क्या है? Define it, sir.
Yeah, once a masjid, always.
No. Define the masjid. Define the masjid. No, sir.
No temple.
You know the answer to it. You know the answer to it, and you'll get caught there. What is defined as a masjid, sir? That the title on the land on which that place is built must be clear. No other structure should have been built there before. It should be a waqf property, and that it should be made according to Shariat. These are some things which are the basic aspects of a place which is deemed as a masjid or a place befitting enough for you to offer prayer as a Muslim. Second part, sir. Second part, in Islam, sir, Islam is against Buddh parasti or idolatry or idol worship. The moment you say masjid shaheed ho gayi, that means you yourself are saying that the masjid itself is an idol or has life.
No, we said...
if you use that term, then that itself is an un-Islamic term.
No, we were cheated, sir. We were cheated.
Being cheated?
Sir,
who cheated who? Who cheated who? Sir, on the one point, sir. If that place is not deemed a masjid as per the tenets of Islam, as per the Supreme Court judgment, it was a structure that was placed on a structure which was un-Islamic. So, by default, then the structure which you are calling masjid becomes un-Islamic. And where namaz kabul nahi hogi, then how can you continue to call it a masjid? Is that not a disservice to Islam itself? Is that not misleading Muslims itself? No. Is not going against the very tenets of Islam itself, sir? Because where should a masjid be built? I asked you, what is a masjid? Define a masjid. What are the basic rules for a masjid, sir?
Masjid is a place to pray.
No, it's not. No. What is deemed a place to pray? What is deemed a place to pray? As per Islam, sir, as per the tenets of Islam, sir. You can educate me better. Barrister Asaduddin Owaisi will know it better.
Okay. Allow me.
So for you to call that place a masjid itself, is that correct as per the tenets of Islam itself? A place that's not been legally acquired, a place that is not waqf, a place that did not have another structure standing there or existing, another pre-existing structure or whatever character, especially of another religious character. Do all these aspects that define a masjid per se, do they tick all the boxes? Be it Gyanvapi, be it Krishna Janmbhoomi or Ram Janmbhoomi?
Now why do we require a temple? Why do we require a temple? भगवान तो दिल में बसता है, भगवान तो कण कण के अंदर बसा हुआ है, इंसान के रोम रोम में भगवान बसा हुआ है. तो why don't you pray inside? Why do you require a temple? Why can't you do puja in your home? You require a temple. We require a masjid. That was a masjid.
No, I agree, sir. I agree, sir. Just like that's the difference between prayer and worship itself.
No, that is the difference.
There is a difference between prayer and worship itself.
Say what you
can pray anywhere, but worship happens only if you believe in Vigraha or Murti Puja, and when the deity, as per the constitution, has living rights and the deity is seated.
For you.
No, sir.
For you.
Sir, this is as per the constitution based on
for you. That may be a part of your worship.
Worship is different.
For me,
for you it is prayer, sir. For us, for Hindus it is worship. One minute. Anila Singh. One minute.
It's mandatory.
No, sir. Prayer
is mandatory on me to pray 5 times.
Like I said, sir, please don't cherry pick or be economical with facts. I am asking you again and again, what are the grounds under which a place of prayer for Muslims will be deemed a place which is the rightful place to pray or which is deemed a masjid, sir? You know the answer, And you please tell me whether
What are
any
the
of the
grounds
three
for
places
making a
that you
temple?
asked, do they tick all the boxes? And if they don't, why is there an insistence to continue going ahead and offering prayer at a place where namaz will not be kabul or will not be accepted, because that's not the right place to pray? Sir, very clearly, it's not deemed a masjid. As per your own, as per Islamic tenets itself. Anila Singh, at this point, when a matter is resolved, why is it there are people who are making comments like this? Why is 22nd January being called a black day?
You don't know
this
what is Islam.
Sir, I don't know, you know better, but you explain it to me. But as you
I
look for
Ram
the
Ram
explanation, let Anila
Because-
Singh ji speak.
because
Yeah, Anila ji.
Because you very well know that I have been.
Ram
I will
Ram to
demolish
all.
your statement. I will
Sir,
demolish
you
your
can
points.
demolish anything, sir, but please demolish with facts. Don't randomly
I
use
see.
your verbal
Very
bulldozer.
sharp हो जाएगी.
Yes, Anila ji.
You have
Yes,
demolished
Anila
your
ji.
mosque.
Anila
Shows
ji.
their mindset. This shows their thought process when they call 22nd January as a black day. जिनकी सोच काली है, so they are going to say it is a black day. But we very well know that each and every Ram Bhakt is going to rejoice 22nd of January, and we are going to do that. And for the sake of your viewers, for the consumption of your viewers, I will tell you the background history of Mr. Owaisi. In 1927, Nizam of Hyderabad, he started a group, MIM, alright, which later on became AIMIM. Nizam handed over the reins of this group to Kazim Rizvi. Kazim Rizvi वही है जिसने हिंदू स्लॉटर किया था, मारे थे लोग, 2 लाख से ज्यादा हिंदू मारे थे, कत्ले आम किया था. All right. Then Kazim Rizvi, he gave the reins of this group to Abdul Wahid Owaisi, who was the grandfather of today's Mr. Owaisi. So this is the mindset, Razakar's mindset. Razakars were the one who used to slaughter Hindus. So this is the mindset. Do you think that they are going to enjoy anything good for the Sanatanis? Of course not. अरे तलवार के डर से जिन्होंने शलवार पहन ली है, वो आज हमको बताते हैं. In 1947, a plot of 8,82,000 square kilometer was given to them. It was sea facing, mountain facing. Why didn't they go there? When temples get demolished in Pakistan, they do not have any problem. And very rightfully, through the court, when Sanatanis get this right that yes, they can build Ram Lalla temple there, they've got a huge lot of problem. And this person, he says that 22nd January will be the black day. What nonsense is this? I'm not going to indulge into any sort of legal battle on your panel. I know one thing, that in Supreme Court, we have won this battle, and the Supreme Court has given the version. Ram Mandir is getting constructed there. 22nd of January, when whole of the nation, each and every Ram Bhakt living in this world, anywhere, any part of this earth, he is going to celebrate 22nd of January as a Diwali day.
Well, he or she, and irrespective of what their background, if they know if they know the background, the politics aside, the actual facts of the matter is that there is a fight legally which is happening for something which should not be religiously claimed by one group at all, and which belongs to another group. That's what the aspect of faith is. But if it is about mutual cohabitation, living together as Indians, as Bharatiya people together, Mr. Anand Ranganathan, why is it that this matter is not resolved and those even settled matters are continued to be raked up? Is this to show that there is perhaps a certain sentiment, there is a group of people who still feel that this is wrong and there should be a certain inflaming or fanning up of passions? Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi will not randomly come out and say something. He must have sensed that there is perhaps a sense amongst the larger grouping. And if that's the case, then perhaps Samanvaya has not been achieved. Because everybody said that whatever the court rules, we will accept. So then that acceptance has not happened.
Yes, but let me also say something, confess something here, in all honesty. And we are amongst a family, a large family, and Waris Pathan Sahab, I genuinely consider him as my elder brother. And I am saying this, he might not like this, but the fact is, जो वो अंदर हैं, वो बाहर नहीं है.
I like you, my friend Anand, I like you.
Thank you Pathan Sahab. अंदर ये वो आदमी है आनंद जिन्होंने पब्लिकली बोला था गणपति बप्पा बोरिया. गणपति बप्पा मोरिया बोला था इन्होंने पब्लिकली. ये हिंदू सिविलाइजेशन की धरोहर है, लेकिन बाहर इनको अपोलोजाइज करना पड़ गया. तो जो अंदर है इंडियन और जो बाहर है इंडियन, उनको आपको पता लगाना पड़ेगा। वो सिर्फ आप तभी पता लगा सकते हैं जब आप लोगों से फिजिकली मिलें। और मैं इनसे मिला हुआ हूं, मैं इनको जानता हूं, ये मेरे बड़े भाई हैं। इनकी सिविलाइजेशन धरोहर हमारी सिविलाइजेशन धरोहर है, लेकिन बाहर ये कह नहीं सकते, इनको माफी नहीं पड़ गई थी। तो ये तब तक चलता रहेगा जब तक ये क्लैश ऑफ सिविलाइजेशन होता रहेगा। आनंद, 1 इंच भी दूसरी साइड नहीं देगी, 1 इंच भी नहीं देगी।
Varis Pathan?
Yeah, Anand Ranganathan is a very good friend of mine and I admire him, and Happy New Year and all the very best for the coming year for him, you, Anand, everybody. I was just listening to the BJP spokesperson, then I'll first reply to her, then I'll reply to Anand sir also. She just now was speaking about Diwali banegi, dhamal hai, everything will be now enjoyed, festival season. Madam, this is happening in Ayodhya, right? Few kilometers from Ayodhya, Varanasi, where Prime Minister Modi is the member of parliament from that place. IIT Kanpur, if you recollect, one girl, she was stopped in the middle of the night by 3 BJP IT cell goons. She was made naked, her videography was done. She was gang raped by those 3 people from the BJP IT cell. 60 days they were absconding, they were campaigning in Madhya Pradesh. What are you to say about those people? What steps have the BJP taken against them? Will the bulldozer be used against those people? You are talking about Nari Samman, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, but your party is full of this rapists. They gang raped the girl. For 60 days they were not there. And what did the BJP government in Uttar Pradesh did, Anand? You will be surprised and shocked. The very first day when they were produced before the honorable court, nobody asked for police custody, but straightway they were remanded to judicial custody. Why no investigation was done to ensure and to see that where were they for 60 days, what were they doing, how many gang rapes did they commit, how many videographies did they do? No investigation. Tomorrow I won't be surprised that the BJP spokesperson will go with a garland with the sweets and the sweets to him. They will go there, definitely. They will see to it that they are also empowered. This is what your problem is. Had Bhagwan Ram been there, would have been like this kind of things. जो लड़की थी वो भी राम जी की बेटी थी ना, देश की बेटी थी. So why no word from the BJP spokesperson on that? She is a lady, I respect a lady, but why no word from her? Why no condemnation? Why no action? And one more question, when will the bulldozer be used against those people? Had there been the people from any other political party, had those people been associated with the IT cell of any other political party, or had one of them been a Muslim, today the debate would have been there for 10 days and the entire Muslim community would have been labeled as rapists. But these 3 people whose names I have written here for the Kaushal Pandey, Kunal Pandey, Saksham Patel, Abhishek Chavan, these 3 people from your 2 rupees IT troll cell, they were roaming scot-free. Tomorrow they will be granted bail. This is your Rani
Let
Samman.
Anila Singh
And Bhagwan
respond.
Ram Bin
Like
there
I
would have
said, ladies
acknowledged
and
this.
gentlemen.
No. So condemn them
Mr.
first.
Varis Pathan, Mr. Varis
That is why I say, don't
is a
play
past
dirty
pastor in
politics
shifting the
in the name
goalpost.
of religion.
But since
You are
he's made a
pretending
political
to be
He
accusation,
has not shifted
See-
the goalpost. He has shifted the stadium.
No.
Stadium ही निकल गया.
That's all right.
Goalpost
But
अलग था.
since he's made an allegation, let Anila Singh
I'm
respond.
exposing
Let
the
Anila Singh
BJP.
respond. Let Anila
That
Singh
true
respond.
Ram Bhakti
We'll
is
allow
going
it.
to
We'll
the
allow
nation.
it. The point is, sir, you have clearly sidestepped the
showing
core
the
question
nation
that we
the
asked to
true
hear
Ram
on the
Bhakti of
debate,
these BJP
and you have made it a
people.
political fight with the
Now we are
BJP. Let Anila
discussing
Singh
about-
respond. But I'd like
I
this
very
to be
well knew
noted.
that we are discussing about Bhagwan Shri Ram. We are talking about Ram Mandir. As
Yes,
usual.
Bhagwan
Okay, now let
Shri
her
Ram
speak.
ki
I have
beti,
run out
desh
of
ki
time.
beti.
Let her
He is
respond to you,
going
Varis
to
Pathan, please.
She was the daughter of
unemployment,
Ram.
Let her respond to you, please.
or he is going to pick up some case. Now he has picked up the case of Varanasi. We know one thing. Number one, Bharatiya Janata Party is the largest party in the world. If I talk about Uttar Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, we have the largest number of members in from Bharatiya Janata Party. And criminal is criminal. This is what we think, and in the same way we act as well. The government, of course. और किसके पुलिस ने पकड़ा था? हाँ, हैदराबाद की पुलिस ने आके पकड़ा उन लोगों को. So you cannot say that the police under Yogi
Well,
Adityanath is not
the
constitutional.
aspect is that if the BJP, I have to wind up because I've run out of time. I've got Dr. KK Mohammed joining me, so I have to go across to that. But the point noted, Anila Singh, the point being made is that if you are talking about Ram Lalla And if you're talking about Ram Rajya, so one of the principles, core principles of Ram Rajya is governance for all and appeasement of none. The rule of law should fall on everybody and the access should be equal to all and it should not be preferential. That's the point that's being made. Meanwhile, Waris Pathan will continue to ask this question the next time around. Hopefully, you have those notes and names written also on what actually defines a masjid and what is deemed as a masjid. From there, we'll start the next conversation. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very, very much to our panelists.
Thank you.
Quickly going across, ladies and gentlemen, to the one man who in 20 days from now as Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Ram Mandir and the massive preparations are still underway in the temple town of Ayodhya. But we are joined by K.K. Mohammadji, former Regional Director, North Archaeological Survey of India, who was part of the team of archaeologists in the 70s that had carried out the first excavation at the site between 76 and 77. K.K. Mohammadji, Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you very, very much. You first witnessed the remains of the Ram temple under the Babri Masjid in Ayodhya. So when you first visited the site as an archaeologist, what was your impression, first impression? Given the long-running religious dispute around this, and also can you share with us some of the important details unearthed?
Yes, sir. Because I had participated in the excavation in the year 1976-77 under Professor B.B. Lal. Because Professor B.B. Lal was earlier the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, and he had taken up this site for the excavation work. And before the excavation, we go for exploration of the site. And when we went inside, we saw that the pillars on which the mosque was standing, that had a number of Hindu symbols on it. And especially Purna Kalasha was engraved on that one, which is one of the Ashtamangala Chinnas in Hinduism. That is 8 auspicious symbols in Hinduism. So it was very clear for us that it was part of the Hindu temple. And if you have any doubt, even now you can go to Quwwatul Islam, which is just by the side of Qutub Minar, where you can see a number of things like this one. You can see Purna Kalasha, you can see a number of idols also in that one. Not 10, 15, 16, there are a number of things even now there. So that is one thing. And then there were certain sculptures also which was later on defaced. That was also observed during our survey work. Then the third point was when Professor Lal excavated the western side and the southern side of it. The pillar bases on which the pillar should have stood, that was also excavated. And along with that one, a number of sculptures, that is terracotta sculptures that were associated with the temple was also excavated. So these were the 4 points on the basis of which Professor Lal had come to the conclusion that there was a temple before the mosque. But the problem was, because that was 1976-77, it was not a big issue at that time, although it was this one controversial point, it was not a very big issue at that time. What these communist historians of JNU and Aligarh Muslim University has done is, they went to the press and they gave a statement from their own side that Lal had excavated the site and he did not get anything associated with the temple at all. And hence there is no question of handing over the site to the Hindu community for the construction of the temple. So that was their statement. First of all, none of them were archaeologists, they were all simply historians. None of them had visited the site during the excavation. None of them had visited the site even after the excavation also. And they had no competence to speak on a technical subject like archaeology. So Professor Lal had to defend himself. He came forward and for the first time he gave a statement saying, no, we have excavated and we have got a number of things associated with the temples. At that time I was working in Madras, so I gave a statement from there, from Madras. No, I had worked along with Professor Lal and whatever Professor Lal has said, stated, That is fully correct, and the statement of the communist historians are completely false. That was one thing, one part of my statement, and it was published in Indian Express on 15th of December 1990. And the second part of my statement was that Ayodhya is as important for Hindus as Makkah and Medina are for Muslim community. Hence, Muslims should willingly hand over the whole entire site for Hindu community to construct a magnificent temple.
Okay.
So this was totally my statement, which of course, because it was the whole entire communist group was completely shattered. They had no reply at all for these things, because it is, a man who participated in the excavation was speaking here, and that to a man who is Muslim by religion, he is speaking.
Right.
And these people had made the statement without coming to the site and without seeing the site, and they had no domain competence to speak on a technical subject like archaeology. So that created the first stage, this one. And the second excavation was carried out under Dr. B.R. Mani. That was Dr. Mani is a seasoned archaeologist again, like Professor B.B. Lal, and he is a very sober person also.
Yes.
So in the second excavation, we had got only 12 pillars at that time, but in the second excavation, more than 50 pillars bases were excavated, and that too in 17 rows, stating that it was a magnificent temple. So that was one thing. And the second thing is a number of things associated. The amalka, on the top of the temple there would be amalka, just below the kalasha. That was excavated from below the mosque. And then a number of other architectural members associated with shigara of the temple, that was also excavated from below the mosque. And then there was a pranala. Pranala means every day you have to bathe the main deity, and that Abhisheka Jala goes through the pranala, and that is always Magara pranala. What is Magara? Magara is crocodile. Crocodile in Hinduism is a symbol of river Ganga.
Right.
So that was excavated.
So all these excavations happened, Dr. K.K. Mohammed, but you once mentioned to somebody, Loka samagramevapi sampasyan kartum arhasi, chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. What was that about?
That was to R.C. Tripathi. He was the Secretary of Culture. So, because he questioned me, because my probation period was not over at that time. I was working in Madras at that time. That was when I was Deputy Superintending Archaeologist. So he questioned me, how did you make such a statement? It is such a sensitive issue. You should not have made a statement like this because you are a government servant. And he was right, perfectly right. He should have taken action against me. And along with him, Dr. M.C. Joshi was also there. He was the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. So I just quoted this one sentence from the scriptures. Loga samgrahame vapi sambhashyan kartum arhasi. Sir, I had no other intention, but I just wanted to speak certain things for the welfare of the country, for the betterment of the humanity. That was my intention.
Yes.
So that actually further provoked him. He told me, I am a Brahmin from Allahabad, and now you are teaching me Sanskrit. I am going to suspend you right now here itself. So then I quoted another Sanskrit sentence. I said, so dharme nidanam shreya. I had done my duty, and for which even death is also welcome.
Acceptable. Same.
Death is also welcome. So that completely changed the man, because he said, well, Mr. Muhammad, you have done the right thing. It is known to all of us, but it should have been spoken by an archaeologist. You are an archaeologist. It should have been spoken by a Muslim archaeologist, and happily you are a Muslim archaeologist. But I am under pressure to take action against you. But some of the, top IAS officers, Mahadevan was there. He was very much senior to this one, Tripathi, and then some of the professors from this one Madras University,
Yeah.
they intervened, and my suspension was converted into a kind of transfer from Madras Circle to Goa Circle. So that was the thing.
But KK Mohammadji, you know, you not only can quote the scriptures, the Hindu scriptures, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, but you also have, and you understand Islam. Let me ask you, currently the issues under litigation, Janmbhoomi and Krishna Janmbhoomi, what's your opinion there?
No, actually these two places also, because yeah, I have worked in all these places, in the other place also, that is Janmbhoomi also, and then Mathura also, and these three places are again as important for Hindu community as Makkah and Medina are for Muslims. So this is a right time for the Muslim community. They should willingly hand it over to Hindu community for constructing a magnificent temple, because you have historical evidences there. There is a book known as Maasire Alangiri.
Yes.
Maasire Alangiri was, that was written during the time of this one Aurangzeb, in which he has spoken, the author of the book. So he has spoken about the destruction of both these places. And it is very well evident also. Anybody who visits all these places, it is very well evident also. So these three places should be. No, I am totally against it, because Masjid Shaheed ho gaya. Ye sab jo na, they could have.
No, so that's what I want to understand. Political leaders wanting to inflame passions. They're saying Masjid Shaheed ho gaya, mosques have been dug up, Masjid khod di gayi, etc. Do you agree with such people?
No, I am totally against it, because Masjid Shaheed ho gaya, ye sab jo na, they could have said earlier, but now it is not like that. Because the big problem is there, and the country has to settle this issue. And for settling the issue, it is both the communities, whether it is Hindus or Muslim, they should come together. They should not use that kind of provocative words like this. Masjid Shaheed ho gaya, ya dusra bhi shaheed hone wale hai. These are certain historical events. And I admit the fact that when the Islam came to India, a number of temples were destroyed. And Muslims also, I feel that Muslims also should admit it. And that will give a healing touch to the Hindu community also. So that healing touch has to start from the Muslim community. So it is an opportunity for them in order to understand their own background also, and also provide a healing touch to the Hindu community.
My final question, KK Mohammadji, with the promise that we will continue to have more conversations thus, that who is Ram for Bharat? Why is Ram in every corner of our country?
Yes, because Ram is a unifying point, and he is a Maryada Purusha also. A Maryada Purusha, that is Sri Ram. And he is a unifying force not only from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, but also of the entire Asia. You go to Bali, there you have got Ramana is there.
Yes.
Go to Indonesia, go to this one, other countries like Indonesia, Malaysia,
Thailand,
then Vietnam, Cambodia. In all these countries, the story is there. Even Malaysia also. Malaysia is an Islamic country.
Correct.
But they are enacting the whole Ram Leela. So he is a unifying force for the entire Asian countries. And Allama Iqbal had said once, within quote, "Hai Ram ke wujud pe Hindustan ko naaz. Hai Ram ke wujud pe Hindustan ko naaz. Ahle nazar samajhte hai unko Imam-e Hind." So it is Imam-e-Hind. That is what Iqbal had said, and Iqbal was the philosophical father of Pakistan.
Yes.
So we should understand that he represents for the country, he is a Maryada Purusha, and we should respect him like that, and we should follow on his footprints. That is the best policy for the country.
KK Mohammed ji, thank you very, very much for speaking with us here on the right stand here on CNN News 18. I look forward to many more engaging conversations. You've done some phenomenal work with restoring temples. He's a Padma Shri awarded in 2019 and he's working towards conserving, preserving and of course resurrecting a lot of our temples across the country. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we're in conversation with author Priyam Gandhi Modi, who's decoding What If There Was No Congress. It's her latest book. Stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this very, very special conversation, ladies and gentlemen. You know, quite often I'd love to speak to authors, people who are taking a very alternative point of view or something which is nuanced, different, and something which is not oft spoken about. Oftentimes in our debates, there is always this question, what if there had been an alternative political narrative post-independence, when this Bhubhag, which we know as Bharatavarsha, became Hindustan and Pakistan. Had there been a separate leadership or a different line of thought leading this country, some people say, had it been Netaji, had it been somebody else, had it not been Nehruvian, what would it have been? What could the future of our country have been? Had it not been Congress? Now, this is all oftentimes in our debates. But imagine somebody's written a book and said, what if there was no Congress? And that person is right next to me. Priyam Gandhi Modi is with us. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for having me on your show.
And you go into hibernation, like you have self-professed after you write a book. Last we spoke with her. She'd written a book on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now we are right on the cusp of another round of elections. So have you timed it to the election, or is it just that your work has finished now?
So see, good question. But my first book released in 2019. We are in 2024. So my speed is about one book every 1.2 years.
Okay.
So that is the speed at which I write. So whenever it's ready, I have to release it. This is a pure coincidence that it's happening in the election season.
It's a pure coincidence. I'll take your word for that, because we've got to get into the context and into the content of it. What do you mean by what if there was no Congress? Why this title?
So these are not my words. These are the words of Prime Minister Modi. When he gave his speech in the Parliament last winter session, कि कांग्रेस न होती तो क्या होता? That was the essence of the speech. So then, I thought back a little bit that Mahatma Gandhi also, in his last will and testament, said the Congress has achieved its purpose. It need not be a political outfit anymore. It needs to be converted to a social service organization. So technically, the head of the Congress, that was Panditji, was chosen by Mahatma Gandhi to lead an NGO, not the country, right? So when two greatest minds that India has ever seen, the two greatest leaders that India has ever seen, if the thought sort of converges on one single idea, then that idea must be explored. Which is why the book.
So which is why the book. So where do you start with? Because for me, a starting point, and not that I have delved into too much of a research, but the route or the shape Bharat would take, that it would be India and not Bharat. It would be looking at the West, not our own Sanskriti and Sabhyata. Does it start from there? Where do you trace, this entire aspect of what if there was no Congress?
Yeah, so I think that the inherent problem with Panditji and the Nehruvian thinking was that Indians, the way Indians think, the way Indians live, is simply not good enough. That we must take influences from everywhere we can and bring it into a country, make it like a hodgepodge. However, it was conveniently forgotten that our civilization was the most modern civilization. It was the most advanced civilization. Just because a bunch of people started to equate modern with Western, that didn't mean, that we lost, our merit. So I think the thought process of Bharat itself, that Bharat ko chhod do, India ko lao, I think that's where the problem started.
There are so many aspects, because nearly 7 decades of Congress-led or Congress-influenced rule, if you were to say. One of the aspects which is also in the ether now, so let's come to that, Ram Mandir. What was the Congress's position, role in, let's say, diffusing or perhaps infusing more fire into the entire Ram Janmbhoomi issue?
More than that, look at what they're doing now. What they did then, they're still doing it today. So, okay, so let's look at little bit of a contemporary situation. And this is one of the reasons why I've written the book. It's for the generations who don't remember what Congress-led India was, and for generations who don't know, right? They get swayed by these Instagram reels and YouTube shorts and narrative building that happens. So mohabbat ki dukan. We are inclusive, we are this alliance, we will take in everybody, love everybody. This is a narrative that has taken ground. Look at what they are doing to car sevaks. Is this mohabbat? They are arresting them. Right? These are people who have worked for the Ram
But that
Mandir.
they say is because it's a court order. So that's
It's a 30-year-old case. You know, there are murderers and thieves roaming freely. The police has better things to do, right? Now, the other thing, they are so cut off from ground reality, Anandji, that while the whole country, you know it, you travel and you see, it's like a celebration, it's like a second Diwali, right? It's a celebration. The whole country across age groups is waiting to bring, our God home and celebrate and light diyas, etc. What is Rahul Gandhi doing and what is his PR team doing? Rahul Gandhi travels in economy. Rahul Gandhi makes jam at home. Come on. How disconnected are you?
No, but that's to each politician. To a large extent, you would say that it was a Congress ruled or a Congress Prime Minister at the center at the time that the Babri structure came down. So it was P.V. Narasimha Rao at that time. So would you really want to fault the Gandhis there? Did the Gandhis or the Congress party at that time have a policy? Did they open the doors of the area of the Ram Janmbhoomi to diffuse Shabano?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And they were also, the RSS who they diss at so much, they were also in backdoor talks with the RSS because they did want to diffuse that tension. There is no doubt about that. Most importantly, Anji, it has taken 500 years for us as a country to bring our God home. We should be ashamed of ourselves. They should be ashamed of ourselves. And at the very least, participate in this celebration.
No, that's about today. But I'm just asking you, in this book, at any point do you reach a conclusion where there are a lot of things which the Congress would have done for the good of Bharat?
Yeah.
Have you looked at that? Or
Yeah,
have
the IITs, DRDO. What is the other tagline that they have? Whatever they put on Twitter, all those things are there, that they have done that. They have given us a modern idea of India. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the negatives sort of supersede the positives. I feel that if there was an alternate leadership, we would have been in a different place. It wouldn't have taken us, 75 years to get in the top 5 economies of the world.
So Congress under a different leader, post-partition, would have been different? Or would you say a non-Congress driven polity or political leadership?
I think Netaji would have been great, so Sardar Patel would have been great as well, right? Maybe another political party would have, come into existence that could have shown us a different way. So it's just that this hijack by the family of the party, that's what didn't work for us.
You believe that that's hurt our country more than help it?
100%.
Well, for the rest, you've got to read the book. This is quite engaging reading, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to spark a lot of debates, political and otherwise. But Priyam Gandhi Modi, great work done. Wish you all the very, very best with this book.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Co-presented by